Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik with Flying and Eating. Today, let's go somewhere and do something, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Good morning, everyone. It's Adam here. Today's adventure, I'm heading out to Denver, only briefly. And then from there, Anchorage, Alaska. Yeah, it's been a while. Well, not really. I went there last year, but it's been a while since I've been to Denver. So I have a relatively early flight here. After coming off of the entire South Carolina / Indiana unintentional debacle last night. So I've been a little tired, but it's all good. But yeah, anyway, so I'm going to make it over there, get out there, and I think what I'll do, because I have a long connection in Denver, is spend some time hanging out at the club lounge. All right, we are upstairs at O'Hare. You can see the clear lane there, which I'm desperately going to need because my flight's already boarding, so I'm running a little late. It's okay. That's the whole point of Clear, is that you can basically show up when they're boarding and still make your flight. I'm not going to say they would guarantee that, but that's going to happen to me. All right, through security, no real problems there. On my way to my gates, I got 10 minutes. You think I'm going to make it? I don't know. We'll see. Okay, we have officially arrived in Denver. First time that's happened on this channel. Not the first time I've been here, of course, but I probably should explain like what we're even doing, because I kind of just mentioned that I'm going to Anchorage randomly. Yes, there's a plan here. So you guys know the evil Rob Thanos, who has been in other videos. Most recently, you would have seen him in the New York one, the little cameo he had before I went off to Europe. He's out here. He's a musician. That's one of his things he does. He's in Denver currently. And he wants to go to Anchorage. It's been like a thing of his. He's wanted to go to Alaska. We have this little competition between the two of us. Who can get to all 56 parts of the U.S.? That means the 50 states, D.C., and all 5 territories first. I'm only missing one, which is American Samoa. He's missing all the territories. No, to be fair, he's been to Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. But he's missing Guam, the CNMI, he's missing American Samoa, of course. He's missing Hawaii, and he's missing Alaska. So he's missing 5. I'm just missing 1. So he's going to add one now. That's going to be his adventure. He's going up to Alaska, and he's like, you want to go with? And I was like, yeah, I got some miles. Let's make this happen. So now I'm basically just going to chill and wait at the Denver airport until he shows up. And we will be on our way. So one of the things about DEN, Denver, is that it's a huge United hub, which is, of course, the only airline I fly if I ever have a choice in the matter. I believe that Frontier also has a big presence here, and there's a second airport where Southwest is, but I don't think they are present here. I think those are your majors, but to be honest, yeah, I'm mostly here just because United is. I must amend something I said earlier, which was that I didn't think Southwest was here, but at a different airport. No, they are very, very here. So like I said, this is a Frontier hub, and you can see it's dedicated to the excellence of Frontier employees from 1946 to 1986. And I can only interpret this as in 1986, Frontier stopped trying to be a real airline. Seriously, don't fly Frontier. It's terrible. So it's worth noting that DEN is one of those airports that has a big train that requires you to get on it to get from every terminal to every other terminal to baggage claim and so on and so forth. I kind of like the idea of less walking, but at the same time, I really hate the idea of less personal choice and the ability to just walk freely from area to area. Personal opinion. What do you guys think? That was something. I was just standing there checking my phone to double check on the baggage claim that I have to go to, and this lady ran over to me and hugged me, and she's like, oh my god, you're here. And then, realized that wasn't her son. It was a funny, awkward moment that happens at an airport. So the plan was that the evil Rob Thanos would come out here and we'd go out and do something in Denver, specifically Casa Bonita. Now, if anybody's ever watched South Park, you know what Casa Bonita is. That's a real thing. It exists here. However, it went out of business. Matt Stone and Trey Parker, the creators of South Park, bought it with the intention of reopening it. That happened like over a year ago, so we were just delusionally under the assumption it was already open. It's not. It's still closed. So we can't do that. So there's no point in really going anywhere. We just don't have a whole lot of time, and that was such a specific thing we wanted to do. So instead, I'm just going to go upstairs and enjoy the United Lounge until Rob shows up. So I can't find a whole lot in this place that's like, ooh, look, Colorado, Denver, except for this thing. which happens to also have the rest of the country on it. Well, for the most part, Hawaii, the territories, and amusingly, Alaska are not included. I don't get it. Okay, so we're going to go through security here. Now, fortunately, this place is a civil airport, so they have a clear lane, so we'll make good use of that. But unfortunately, tons of construction. It's all been congested down to just one area. Kind of defeats the purpose. Yeah, I got to skip all that. So I feel bad I let you guys down with the whole Casa Bonita thing. And since I can't fulfill on that, I thought I would do the next best thing as a South Park reference. City Walk. Yes, this is real. Apparently this particular one in the airport is actually what the City Walk in South Park, the Chinese restaurant, is based on. Well, this is amazing. The brand has expanded from City Walk, or Shitty Walk, as South Park says it, to City Pho, and I can only imagine that's inevitably going to lead to Shitty Pho jokes. Okay, we got the city orange chicken and the fried rice. Let's see how it looks. Hopefully you get the South Park joke here because it looks city. Yeah, South Park based their poor Chinese restaurant on that for a reason. The chicken itself was okay. Rice was terrible. I mean, eat for the novelty if you're a South Park fan, but the food, not good. And now the plan should be obvious. We got a lot of waiting to do. What better place to do it than at the United Club? And we are on the escalator on our way up, looking down at Colorado shirts. Yeah. It's the first time I've ever been in this club before. It's actually the first time I've been in this airport in a few years. So it'd be nice to kind of experience. Oh, I can smell the coffee. It's hitting hard. I also saw a sign. You can see it from over there. Get ready for an upgrade. They're going to do a big expansion in this one, similar to how they did at Newark, where it's got like showers and stuff. Oh, it'll be great. All right, let's get a quick walk around. We got coffee machines. We got some tea stuff. Oh, there's our little buffet thing, which I'm not particularly hungry because we just had the terrible Chinese food, but we got pre-made sandwiches, cookies, cheese, fruit, that sort of thing over there. I think there's some soups over there, and there's another buffet type thing over here, and it looks like some sort of pasta dish. I'm not really sure. We'll take a look at that. But again, more cookies and more of the same stuff over here. It just kind of duplicates. Yeah, nice big comfortable lounge space. Yeah, that looks pretty good, whatever that is. And some native stuff, which is kind of neat to take a look at. I think that's really cool. Yeah. So the only time I ever took I took a couple of serious trips out to Colorado. I used to have a cousin that lived out here. We would visit him. But once when I was a kid, we spent a lot of time out here. So there's a lot of native stuff out here, which is very cool. All right, now I know what that thing is. It's not pasta, it's a taco bar. We'll be hitting that up later.
Round one on the food here. I got a nice turkey cheese sandwich and a chocolate chip cookie.
The taco bar. We got our chicken, pico de gallo, cheese, salsa, lettuce, avocado, well, guacamole, sour cream. Looks like chopped up or minced either green peppers or jalapenos, I'm not sure. And then, of course, red onions. So guess who joined me? Comes in here using my membership to get yourself, what'd you get?
Whiskey.
Was it free or did you pay for it?
Oh no, I paid for it.
Alright, good. Then I don't feel so bad. So here's how you know the United Flyers are the best flyers. People who were just sitting in front of us here at the club lounge, they had to go, but they knew we had a while to wait. And so they just handed us these. These are free drink vouchers, like the expensive drinks, the real ones. Not
that Adam won't drink.
Well, I was getting to that. It's of no use to me, but United Club quality, the caliber of the people who fly United are the best people. Don't fly Southwest or Frontier. What are you doing? Don't do that. Come in here, hang out, get free booze. There you go, Rob. You go get drunk right before the flight. All right, so you used one of the two vouchers. What'd you get?
Yes, I did. I got a Glenlivet Scotch on rocks. So,
is that special or something?
it's a single malt Scotch. It's generally kind of expensive. Like my first one that I got was $13, I think. So
Oh, and now it's free.
it's free 99.
Free 99, okay. All right, it has been a few hours, so now it is taco time. I basically put everything on it. There's chicken, there's pico de gallo, there's onions, there's lettuce, there's avocado, and there's sour cream. Oh, and there's cheese. Good times. we will be leaving shortly, but the soup was highly recommended to me. This is a red pepper Gouda cheese soup. So I just got a small sample.
There's a lot of funny conspiracy theories about this airport, like surrounding, they think that there's like the Illuminati headquarters like in secret tunnels below the airport. And actually, if you don't know, there is a horse statue outside of the airport entrance, and it's very famous because it actually killed its artist during its construction. Like, the head fell off and fucking cut guy's leg off. He did not eat the leg. He died. So
You can see there's like ghosts to the right of
Illuminati.
Yeah, of Rob. What you're looking at, see, there's just like these two ghostly figures next to him. That's some messed up shit.
Spooky. Creeping up behind you.
So Rob just made a discovery in his little kangaroo pouch. Some kangaroo in-flight entertainment.
So Adam and I were talking about what the last piece of new American soil I've been to was, and it would be May 2009, and it would be Alabama, of all places. This is a little different than Alabama.
Okay, we are here at ANC Alaska's Anchorage Airport, also known as, I think, Ted Stevens. And so we're going to go out and, you know, there's an airport shuttle that's going to take us out to our hotel, which is nice. Show you a little bit of stuff along the way. And then we're probably going straight to sleep because long day. Dude, I woke up at 2 in the morning from Chicago after coming in from, you know, it doesn't even matter. Rob, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. Number 49 for me.
Well, number 49 state as well, so it's kind of perfect for him. Like I said, there's a little competition here, and I thought, okay, well, let him have one. We're giving him one new one. This year alone did the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, and
I already did those.
Yeah, I know, but I've already done CNMI, which you guys saw, Guam, which you guys saw. Yeah, he's never done that. He's never done that. Come on.
You know, and I haven't seen the proof of like all of your other 50 states. I mean,
to be fair,
how do I know that you've actually done that?
To be fair, I would say like half of them have already made cameos on this channel. But I mean, yeah, you realize. So now we're in Alaska. There's already an episode where I was in Hawaii. Like we've even done the freak states. So it's all right. It's all good. Simpsons reference. Anyway, we're gonna get out of here. There's a Humpy's location downtown that's pretty good. I don't know if we're gonna go to it just due to the sheer amount of time that we have, but if you're ever down here, Humpy's isn't bad. You could have obviously the one in the airport, but you could also go to the real one. This will come off as no real surprise, but this is one of the only hubs Alaska Airlines actually has, logically so, in Alaska. And in the background, you can see some nice view of the mountains. When it gets a little nicer out, usually it's brighter than this at this point, but we'll talk more about that later. But the weather's not so great, but you trust me, you'll see mountains. All right, so I'm assuming that's Ted Stevens. He's the guy who invented airports.
Senator Ted Stevens.
Yeah. And, yeah, a lot of gift shops. It's actually a nice little airport. You can see a whole bunch of cool stuff in there. It's got, I think it's got every little stereotype of Alaska that you would want in an airport. What do you think?
Including a moose.
Yeah, it does. It has a moose. And a Starbucks, so, you know. We were also going the wrong way, but I just wanted to show you guys some more stuff. But there's McDonald's and things down there. Don't forget, contrary to a lot of what people, I assume, would assume about Alaska, it is a full-fledged American state and acts accordingly. You have your McDonald's, don't worry.
And it's bigger than Texas.
Yeah, they don't like hearing that in Texas, but they love hearing that here. Like, I don't know if they'll still have it, but the last time I was here, they proudly were selling T-shirts that said, Alaska, 2.3 times the size of Texas. And it's just like a map of Texas, smally, you know, just really like contained completely inside of Alaska. Good morning. I've got an evil Rob Thanos here, and we're gonna go hit up a small breakfast situation before we go do something that we really want to do, because nothing's really open yet, but we're kind of hungry because, you know, we're fat and food is a thing that we like. Yeah, and then we'll give you more updates and stuff later. Anyway, whatever, we're gonna eat.
So one of the things to know about Alaska is that I think it's the only state in the union where you can get reindeer meat pretty regularly. So here they have a hash, the country gravy, they have reindeer sausage omelet, and there's another one, there's the reindeer breakfast. There you go. I think though that I'm gonna do that. Because I also like things that they claim they do the best. All right, food is here, what'd you get?
I got some reindeer sausage and scrambled eggs.
You really went like not all out here.
Well, because we're having lunch.
Yeah, I know. But meanwhile, juxtaposition. Yeah. The reindeer hash with our toast, our potatoes, our eggs, obviously, peppers and things like that. But reindeer meat, again, pretty big deal up here.
So we just got out of, what was it called?
White Spot.
White Spot Cafe. It was a nice little breakfast spot. What'd you think?
I thought it was great. Reasonably priced. It's been around since 1946.
It says 59, but their menu very specifically says, even though it says 59, it was 47.
Yeah, and I appreciate they kind of had a good sense of humor about things. Like they have rules on the menu. It's like, don't argue with the chef. No, don't ask questions. Just eat. Yeah, it was funny.
I think they were probably actually open since 47, but in 47, Alaska was still a territory. 59, the year they became a state.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that they were like, oh, okay, we've been here since the beginning of Alaska, but actually we predated. Either way, the food was really good, great conversation, nice atmosphere. Check it out if you're ever up here and you're kind of craving that like diner experience fused with like Alaska. So as we walk along the street, I thought I would talk a little bit about the vibe of Anchorage. Now, I don't know if Rob, if you've ever been to these places. The place that actually seems the most similar that I can compare this place to in the U.S., oddly enough, is Astoria, Oregon. Like, yeah, I know most people haven't. It's the town where the Goonies is from. I did a video on the place. I would say the second best comparison, vibe-wise, but not necessarily aesthetically speaking, would be Austin, Texas. But not aesthetically speaking, because this place looks different than Austin by far, but just kind of the tone, I don't know how else to put it, but if you've ever been to Austin, and then you come here, you probably get that. But again, of all the places I've ever been, the one that is the most similar has to be Astoria, Oregon. In this area, by the way, you see a bunch of different restaurants and things like that. There's the Red Umbrella Reindeer. That place is pretty good, actually. I had one last year. They do like reindeer meat hot dogs, like right on the fly, kind of like a New York style place. But this is, as you're looking at it, is kind of the heart of downtown Anchorage right here. We've got all the touristy shops, obviously, and this is where all the tourists would stay. The convention centers like over there, the malls over there. This is it. This is the center of the biggest city in the Galactus of states.
Honestly, I was like, if I had to pick a city, it kind of reminds me of Portland, Maine a little bit.
Yeah. Any one of those,
coastal, like,
right? Yeah, that's exactly how Astoria, Oregon feels. This is very similar. It's like a city that exists because it was an outpost. That's kind of its history, and then they had to build out from there. And this is just the biggest one that came of it. But I'll say this, and he knows this is true. Give it a few years, for different reasons that we shouldn't go into. Anchorage will be one of the biggest, most valuable ports in the entire world. Let's just say Russia. There's reasons that this is going to become one of the biggest populous places. Not necessarily population, but like the Anchorage airport will become one of the busiest in the world. And as I think you put it, the waters around here eventually will be like the new Istanbul.
Yeah, this is the new Istanbul.
And that might seem, it might seem kind of silly, but as the Northwest Passage opens, yep. It's gonna get very lively here in a few years. So if anybody's out there and was thinking about moving to Anchorage, I would do it sooner than later, because I would imagine housing prices and all that stuff is going to skyrocket in the next decade. It's just my guess. So we're at this little park with a scenic view type of thing. It's unfortunate it's very overcast on this trip. Last time I was here, it wasn't, but yeah.
James Cook.
This is James Cook, British dude. There's a hotel named after him. Obviously, he did he found the Cook Islands, or at least they credit him with that. Let's put it that way. And there's a British flag on the hotel they named after him. But thanks, dude. It's American now. We appreciate it. We liberated it. This is what I'm talking about in the future. Anchorage's position over here, I'm just going to say it, if you can't fly over Russia anymore, It's going to change a lot of routes, and anybody coming from Asia will have to stop here to get around to Europe, because you can fly from Anchorage to London in 9 hours.
Hot dogs smell good. The reindeer hot dogs.
They're really good. Like, I think that's one of those things that would throw off a lot of people. They'd be like, I don't know if I want to eat a reindeer. Here's the thing. Yeah, no, they're really good. It's not deer, not to be confused with venison. And people in Nordic countries like Sweden and Finland will know what I'm talking about. Like, reindeer meat is good stuff. It's very common there. But I think this is the only state where it's a common meat. Cake Studio, by the way. There's one here and there's one in the mall over there. Really good. AK, obviously, Alaska, state initials. Very, very good. To point this out, I mean, it's a nice temperature for us. I'm from Chicago, he's from New York, basically. And so we're kind of used to a chillier environment. Right now, Celsius, it's like 16. I don't really know what that is in Fahrenheit.
It's like 66 or so.
Okay. And so it's very nice to walk around in for us. We say this while we're in the middle of the summer and it's hot in most of the world. It's very pleasant here for us, but we are wearing like hoodies and stuff. I will say this is a very, very walkable city. It's very flat, despite being obviously a mountain state. But the city is very well designed in that it's just basically a series of grids, and it's not all that big. Like, you can get from one end of the city to the other on foot pretty easily. The whole thing is laid out in grid format. It's very nice.
So Adam and I were talking about kind of how Alaska and specifically Anchorage feels. And I kind of equate it, since I just came from there, to Denver and Colorado as a whole, in terms of its vibe and kind of where I could see the city and the state going, in that it's very environmental, lots of outdoor activities. Obviously, the legalization of marijuana is a big aspect. I don't know if you're feeling that too. What do you think?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, you know Denver better than I do, but I could see this being like Denver like 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, in like the late 90s, early 2000s, this is kind of what Denver felt like. And, you know, as you talked about, like I think the city's going to explode in population.
Yeah, and when that happens and there's a big job boom up here and a big economic drive, this is going to be Denver in a few years.
Yeah, totally.
In case anyone's curious what Alaska license plates look like, they actually surprisingly varied up. There's kinds like this, and then there's kinds like this, and believe it or not, there's actually a lot more. This is yet another type of Alaska license plate. There's a ton of them up here. It's actually very weird how many different variations there are. So this is a very normal thing in northern parts of Alaska, is like a power cable sticking out of the engine. And I guess what that's for is that it gets so cold that you're supposed to plug the car in, and that'll keep the battery from dying. There you go, that's very standard. Not so much in Anchorage, but in further northern parts of the state. Because I don't think enough people get a true sense of the scale of Alaska, I love how they printed this out here. Anchorage would be equivalent of like Springfield, Missouri. Fairbanks would be up in like Des Moines. Barrow would be in Duluth. I can't even pronounce that, but it's in Jacksonville. And the extreme other end on the Aleutian Islands, like Attu, would be in San Francisco. That is how wide and tall and just vast the state of Alaska is. It's massive compared to the rest of the United States, which, by the way, is already a massive country compared to the rest of the world. So you do it, you know, you owe yourselves, guys. Come out to Alaska at some point. Check it out. It's very, very cool and very, very, very big. It is a massive state. It is huge. By far the biggest. It's 2.3 times the size of Texas. It's not even close. I mean, there are cities here that are the size of New Jersey. I don't mean in population. I think Yucatan City is like right here. Yucatan City, Alaska is the city, geographically speaking, is about the size of New Jersey, yet has a very, very comically small population. Obviously, it borders Canada on this side, and over here, it almost borders Russia. There's actually two islands, like right around there-ish, that they didn't put on this map, called Little Diomede and Big Diomede. Big Diomede is part of Russia. Little Diomede is part of the United States, in Alaska specifically, and there's only 2 miles in between the two. It's actually something you can swim between.
And that'll do it for part 1. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Stay tuned to part 2. There will actually be 3 parts to this little series. I didn't realize how much Alaska there actually was. But yeah, we'll check out a whole bunch of other stuff. We'll eat, of course, a lot of crazy things. And eventually we'll make our way home. Thank you guys very much for watching. As always, please like, comment, subscribe. Check the social media stuff in the description for Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, Patreon, etc. Thank you very much for the support, and I'll see you all later.